Damn. Yeah. 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 Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls. How is everybody doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? You, and you. You, sit down, man. Sit the camera. We got cameras. We're trying to film. Sit down. Sit down. I punch you out. Go sit down. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Thank you for being a great fan. Thank you for being a fan of the show and being enthusiastic, but please have a seat. Anyways, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to this week's edition of This Week. I'm so in a good mood today. Can you tell? This week in UGA football, I am one of the two hosts of the show, running it from Oklahoma City all the way in the heart of Boomasuna territory. Mr. Fingers coming to you from Zagnif Central, and that fella over there, the guy wearing UGA from head to toe, he is the brother from another, the sexy Mother Hubbard, the ace of base in a place in your face. I'm very happy to be here because it is my favorite part of the game, talking SEC on the UGA, who plays at SANFORD Stadium. Bam, bars on the INTERNET with me for you and thee. That's what's up. What's going on, man? Holla at the people.
Oh man, you already said it. I'm hyped. I'm happy. I just got back to Northern Virginia from God's country and had a great time, great weekend with the family. Man, I don't see it getting any better, man. It's awesome. I'm having a great day. Just got back here this afternoon. How about yourself?
God's country. So does that mean that you were hanging out with Brian Kelly and my family?
The accents are a little bit better than that.
Oh yeah, yeah. You went down to Georgia for the weekend, so you had a good time, man.
Oh, I had a great time. I got to see a lot of family I haven't seen in quite a few years, actually. But yeah, I got to, I was watching the kids play football. Stretching skins in the front yard. Just brought me back, and no way in the world I was getting out there with them. I mean, because I ended up breaking something, but it was fun to watch. But good weather down there. 82 degrees down there, bro. 82 degrees.
Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. 82 degrees. We were kind of a little frigid around here. Yes, but that's how things go. Want to send a quick shout out to those people that have already jumped on the feed and are commenting. Our buddy Johnny Dean from NFL Edition Live, a Bucks Report, and our homegirl Nikki Mays watching on SEC Super Conference, the home of the Wednesday Night Power Hour. We appreciate y'all tuning in and checking us out today. So what we got going on, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know what time it is. Do I really listen? I'm gonna tell you, like I said it the other day, do I really have to say it? Do y'all really want me to say it? I don't think they want me to say it. I don't know. Because the audience is mighty quiet. Audience, do y'all really want me to say it? Do you really want me to say it? Y'all don't want me to say it. Y'all don't want me to say it. How about them dogs? How about them dogs? How about them dogs? How about this? Let me calm down before I get kicked off the internet. Man, the dogs do what they're supposed to do. They show up. They handle business against LSU. Let me go ahead and say this to the LSU fans. I do want to thank our buddy Scott Irwin from SEC Super Conference for setting me up with our guest on Saturday. He's an awesome guest. LSU fans, you guys have nothing to hang your head about. Let me explain that to you. Nothing. Don't let nobody tell you, yeah, you got your butts kicked or whatever. You all know that there was a lot that was not expected of you this season. And what people didn't think Brian Kelly was going to pull it off after he, did the whole fake accent thing. But kudos to you guys. You had an absolutely awesome season. You exceeded every single expectation. And I will definitely say this: Jaden Daniels, if he wouldn't have hurt, I think the game would have been a lot tighter. Which, speaking of, leads me to one of the moments, the absolute crowning moments of the game, brother. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Seeing Jalen Carter pick Jaden Daniels up, it just
yeah. That was.
wait,
Oh
wait.
my God! I picked him up like a baby on the
Look,
hip.
you know, I thought about you when he did it. Got me a Marlin.
And he put the finger up too. He's like, "Yeah, I got it." That was
Yeah, so
hilarious.
he's like, "Hey, I got one, coach. I got one, coach." So yeah, dude, I'm stoked. Second year in a row, we finally got that. We this is what I think Kirby set out. Last year we had the perfect season record, lost the conference championship, came
Yeah,
back and won the national championship. Kirby said, "I want the whole enchilada this year. All gas, no brakes. Let's
that's
go.
right. Burn the
Perfect regular
boats.
season record, SEC championship. Now we're back in the CFP as the number one seed, and we will be taking on the Buckeyes of Ohio State in the Peach Bowl on New Year's Eve. How you feeling about it, bro? We'll talk some more about it a little bit later, but how you feeling about it right now?
Oh, I couldn't. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, I kind of wanted to play them for quite some time on the national stage, and you can't make any bones about it. C.J. Stroud, he's a great quarterback. I want to see if our defense can handle him or kind of make him, a little bit nervous. But they're a good team. I mean, I don't know if it's indicative of what Michigan, did to them, or they might be coming with, an extra grind, having been beat by Michigan as bad as they were. Yeah, I mean that'd be a true test for us. But yeah, I'm anxious to play against C.J. Stroud and the rest of those guys. It's been a while since we actually played Ohio State, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But anything better would be playing them on that. I mean, like playing them for the national championship. But yeah, I'm excited. How about yourself? What do you think?
Dude, I'm stoked. I am stoked. I'm still a cautiously optimistic University of
Oh yeah,
Georgia fan, but
sure.
we're talking about an Ohio State team that, aside from a setback against that team in maize and blue, the team in maize and blue from Michigan has been nothing short of outstanding in their conference
Yeah,
so far. Ryan Day has built a good program there. He's got a quarterback who has now been nominated for a second consecutive year for the Heisman Trophy. He is one of the finalists, and we'll talk about the other three a little bit later on in the show. But I'm really excited. So this is, still, iron sharp as iron. So we'll see what happens. Let me see. We got a comment out here talking about I don't want to sit down. That's our boy Johnny Dean. That's our guy. That's our guy Drew Miller talking about say it already. And let me see here. I am thinking that is Drew also. Yep, that's Drew right there also. We do appreciate you guys tuning in. If you are here watching right now, please do make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And oh, by the way, if you are under the sound of our voices right now and you drop a comment, whether it is on either of the two Facebook feeds we are running on right now or the YouTube feed, that enters you into a drawing to win one of these absolutely lovely. I got to unfold it so that people can look at it real nice here. One of these absolutely lovely Zagnif Apparel embroidered beanies straight from our shop for you just in time for the holidays. So if you've already dropped a comment, you are in the drawing for I got to have two drawings tomorrow, one for Saturday's show and one for Saturday's show and one for today's show. So we're going to be giving away two beanies on tomorrow evening. Two beanies, Colin. How you feeling about that, man?
I'm waiting on you to send me one.
I got you covered, bro. Don't worry about that. I got you. I got. We good.
Okay. All right. I didn't know if
We
I
good.
should comment or anything, John. I thought you were waiting on me to throw a comment. I think that'd be a little bit suspect, though. My bad. Yeah. Since I'm on the show,
Yeah.
I can't be getting it.
Right. Don't mean you can't get one, but I got you, brother. I got you. So, so we're on the Ohio State, and every now and again we do go out and get man on the street commentary, and well, first of all, let's go to the let's go to a live look in. This is a replay of a live look in the Alabama War Room when they announced the CFP winners, the CFP finalists on yesterday.
What?
Yeah.
I'm sorry for those of you that missed it.
What?
And then, of course, we had USC, which was a big contender, the University of Southern California. Caleb Williams with a brilliant performance at quarterback all year long.
Yeah.
Prior to the game, they asked him how he felt about things, and he had this to say.
Did you say Utes?
Yeah, 2 Utes.
What is a Ute?
The Ute. Yes, sir.
And he found out exactly what that was.
A lot of people have found that out.
Yeah, a lot of people have found that out. Listen, Utah has been legit all year long. You understand what I'm saying?
And last year too. Can't forget about that. Last year,
Utah. Last year they were playing for their deceased, their dearly departed teammates that they lost in an unfortunate incident. This year they were just playing for we're coming, and now Utah. 2 years back-to-back Pac-12 champions. Shout out to the Utah Utes. What is a Ute? Shout out to the Utah Utes for their achievements and accomplishments in the 2022 football season. But there's also another game going on New Year's Eve. We found out that Georgia was ranked at number 1, and Ohio State was ranked at number 4. But there's also another crucial key matchup going on in the Fiesta Bowl out in Arizona. And that's the Wolverines of Michigan versus the TCU Horned Frogs. The Big House versus the Comeback Kings, number 2 versus number 3. And that is a perfect opportunity for us to bring on our guests today, ladies and gentlemen. They've been hanging out in the back. You know them, you love them. First of all, from Let's Talk Football, the ladies take over, the show that can make you shed a tear with their causes that they bring every week. Seriously, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a nice welcome for Miss Kate Alverson. How are you doing, Kate?
I'm doing good, fellas. How are you?
We're absolutely awesome.
Thank you for having me.
We're glad. We are happy to have you on the show. So we appreciate you dropping by. And next up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we didn't know if you looked at him listen, he needs to come with a sticker that says objects in the mirror may be closer and larger than they appear, because we just now found out that this Bama is 6'3", and you can't tell that with him sitting behind the camera. Ladies and gentlemen, Michigan fan number 2 from our neighbors to the north. Blame Canada. Blame Canada. Also, one of the co-hosts of NFL Edition, Bucks Talk, and North Sports Dynasty, Mr. Alex Loosemore. Come on through, Alex. How you doing, bro?
Doing well, man. Thanks for having me on. Very excited to be here and talk some football with you guys.
Yeah, man.
There's our cheesy air horn right there. We don't have the fair. We don't have the good one like they have in the World Cup. So we got that one there. So y'all, so we got this thing going on. I understand you guys have a very important ball game coming up. So how you guys feeling about that?
Go ahead, Alex. I'll let you go first.
All right. Well, I'm very excited about this one because anytime you can play a high-powered side of the ball like TCU with their offense that can score at will, our defense has shown up game in and game out all year, so it's another great test to see how we match up against some of the best in the country. I really like our offense against their defense. I think we could handle this fairly easily as long as we come in ready to play.
And I'm feeling very similar to Alex, and I think it's going to be a good game, and I think we're ready to play. And I also know that we always are good at making adjustments and on the fly, and our defensive coordinator, Jesse Minter, is very good when he sees our defense not cooperating or playing well, fine-tuning it, adjusting it, knowing how to cover. I mean, he figured out when Jones was getting those passes against Purdue, he figured out the right coverage. He put Will Johnson, our true freshman, on him, and Will Johnson balled out. He got to wear what we call the turnover buffs twice. He got 2 really good interceptions. So I have a lot of confidence and faith in our coordinators. I mean, Weiss and Moore have been really good at offense. knowing how to fine tune. JJ has been proving lately that he can throw that long ball that they've been asking him to throw. I mean, he had 2 beautiful passes to Cornelius Johnson against Ohio State. He got a beautifully threaded pass to our freshman tight end, Colston Loveland, against Purdue. So I just have a lot of faith in our team and our weapons. Our receiving core is deep. Our running back core is deep. We have a beautiful sophomore quarterback in J.J. McCarthy, who I have a lot of confidence in. And Harbaugh has brought in some amazing coordinators to lead this team. And he brought back my favorite running back of all time, Mike Hart, to lead our running back. So I have a lot of good faith in us against TCU. I mean, they did show they can play, and they stayed with Kansas State. But I think we have more weapons than they do. So feeling good.
All right, well, let's take a deeper dive into that. Kate basically answered.
I love my voice.
she went through about 15 minutes worth of airtime in her one comment. Ladies and gentlemen, if we are just joining us, welcome to This Week in UGA Football. We're here, me, Colin P. from the DMV, and our esteemed guests over there, Miss Kate Alverson and Mr. Alex Loosemore, joining us. We're giving them a little bit of airtime because Georgia wins. We're going to wind up playing either Michigan or TCU. We're going to wind up playing Michigan. We're going to wind up playing either Michigan or TCU. We're going to wind up playing either Michigan or TCU. So we just wanted them to come on and give them a little time to talk about how they're feeling about the chances. And so who are some of your key players? Even though Kate, you want to run that list back again?
She ran down the roster.
We have more than that. We have way more than that. We have way more than that. We have one that just announced he's coming back next year. He was a receiver for our team, but now he's back. He's switched to defense. Mike Sandristil is coming back for next year. He's been a phenomenal defensive player for us this year, and beautiful coverage on other teams' receivers and good at tackles. I mean, just beautiful. So we have him, and we have a bunch of other different players. We have Mozzie Smith, who is good. We'll see if Mike Morris will be healthy enough, our edge rusher who is replaced Aiden Hutchinson. So we have some good weapons on defense and on offense. I mean, Alex can attest we have a beautiful offensive line with Zach Zinter and Trevor Keegan and the bunch. So I am very confident in our team and who Harbaugh has put in for our team. So yeah, I have a lot of confidence that we'll do very well against TCU, and I have a very good confidence that we'll be taking on your Dogs for the national championship. But right. I don't know what Alex has to offer to add to that.
Well, I have to.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm going to jump in here real quick, just so you know. I have a coworker, and we sit right next to each other. My cube is right next to his. And he just turned to me when he saw the matchups on Friday before I even left work. He says, "See you in the national championship." Big time Michigan fan. He just looked at me and said, "So it looks like it's going to be us and you in the national championship." I said, "Man, they haven't even played the conference championships yet." He said, "It looks like it's going to be us and you in the national championship." And be doggone if it didn't pan out that way.
But
Alex,
part two.
Yeah. I didn't mean to step on you, sir. Go ahead, and we're going to go ahead and pass the mic, to you. And tell us what you got, sir.
All right. Yeah, so, I mean, obviously there's the big ones. There's J.J. McCarthy, Donovan Edwards, the running back. Our receivers, Ronnie Bell, Cornelius Johnson. Colston Loveland, that freshman tight end, is absolutely taking over. To me, the biggest unsung hero of the offense is that center, Olu Oluwatimi. What he's done since transferring from Virginia has been absolutely astonishing. In the run game, in the pass game, he's made the offensive line that won the award for best offensive line in the country last year even better this year. Then defensively,
I gotta stop you for 1 second. What did you say that gentleman's name was again? Can you say that again for me?
so the actual name is Olusegun Oluwatimi, but we call him Oluwatimi because the whole name in itself is a mouthful. So
okay, I just wanted to make sure because I couldn't tell from the accent you put on it. Depending on the accent, he's either Wakandan or Zamundan. I just had to make sure which one it
Well,
was.
I thought he said Anthony. I thought he said Ozzie Smith, and I was like, I didn't know he played football too, and I was like, I was a little bit perplexed.
Yeah, he's up for best center in the country right now too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and he was up there last year, right, with Tyler Linderbaum and them too. So back to back, up for that award. And then just a couple other unsung guys that Kate didn't mention. Iyabioki, defensive end. He was a 5-star transferred from Alabama to Div 2 school. Just kind of all over the place. He's with us now, and he's performed very well this year. Mason Graham, a freshman defensive tackle, has balled out right alongside Mozzie Smith. And one more is the other corner opposite Will Johnson and DJ Turner, who is near the end of his college career here. He's junior, senior, but he's playing very well. And for a while there was taking other teams' number one corners until Will Johnson stepped into the fold here.
All right, very nice. I got a comment here in the thread. I have it up. I want to know how you two feel about this. It says, I don't know. This is from our guy, I think Drew Miller. I don't know if McCarthy's stats can touch Duggins in the matchup, but TCU has to look out for Michigan as a strong second half team.
Our second half
right.
team is, I mean, like I said, Minter goes in that locker room and he just looks and says, okay, we have to do this. We have to do this. I mean, people have made jokes of what happens in that locker room at halftime that Michigan comes out so dynamic, but our coordinators know how to fine tune and adjust. I mean, our defense has allowed maybe 14 points in the most of the season. In
the last 8 games, it's 21 points that it's added up to.
So we're doing really well. And another player that we haven't mentioned, who's, since I go to a lot of games, it gets in and a lot of the tackles, is our sophomore junior Colson. He's also a very good part of our defense and is very explosive with tackles. And we just have a lot of great pieces to our team. But our second half, I have no problem. Like, I knew going into the second half against Purdue, we had it.
Yeah.
There was no question in my mind.
So I have a question to you guys. How many of these guys, these players that you're talking about? I mean, forgive me, I don't know a whole lot about Michigan, but I mean, these players that they come back from last year, or are these like the freshmen that are now sophomores that have came back and gotten better, or do you guys have a lot
better?
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so a lot of those, and especially I'll look at the trenches here, and I'll use Mozzie Smith as a huge example. So, I mean, everyone knows from watching the game, you guys just manhandle us. You guys out-physicaled us from start to finish. So Mozzie Smith became that true nose tackle. He went from about 300 pounds as a defensive tackle, which is a little on the lighter side, to he's now playing at like 330, 340, somewhere in there. So a lot of these guys, Mike Morris too, got bigger, stronger, faster. So all these guys remember what you guys did to us, so they got ready for that.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you got you here in the comments too. Don't forget, Michigan is upset about that 34-11 loss in last year's semi.
Hey, it happens. That axe to grind is a real thing. Like when you get manhandled, it sticks in your head, and you got a chip on your shoulder. That definitely happens. That's what happened with us last year against Bama. So we definitely know.
Yeah.
We have a former player. His name was Chase Winovich, and he coined a term called the revenge tour. And our revenge tour will end when we hopefully will beat you for a national championship. So we, like JJ has said in every one of his post-game press conferences, the job is not finished. He takes that hat off, has his Kobe Bryant moment, and he goes, "This doesn't matter. The job's not finished." So
Right, we have something similar as finish the drill, basically what we have. So you
yeah. So to us, the job is not finished yet.
right.
Well, and it's been a different mindset this year. Like last year, we were happy to beat Ohio State. We were happy to make the playoff. Where this year, everyone's mindset has been, okay, cool, we beat Ohio State, but now let's look forward.
Yeah.
We're not still looking at, oh yeah, we whooped Ohio State. Now it's okay, we've got TCU ahead of us, and then hopefully you guys.
Yeah.
One game at a time.
That's right.
One win at a time.
I tell
One
you what,
focus at a time.
Yep, 100%. You know what? TCU seems to be getting a little bit of love in the comments here. That looks like our guy Drew Miller again, I believe. Says those frogs might surprise you on the boat. Yeah, they are. They are. They're something, man. I mean, for them to come back the way that they did. Now, granted, they lost that game, but I believe they were down. I was watching. I think they were down by 2 scores, and at that point, I had kind of said, okay, K-State's on cruise control. They got this. And lo and behold, I went to the store and came back, and they had scored a touchdown. And then I think I went to the bathroom and came back. They scored another touchdown to tie it up. And I was like, wow, these guys are legit. So it was at that point that I said, because again, I hadn't really followed them much. You can't help but follow Oklahoma because it's Oklahoma and Oklahoma State because it's everywhere. But it was at that point that I said, okay, I see now, not only they're undefeated, I see now why the committee's giving them all the love and why they're in the top 4.
Mm-hmm. That kind of gave to the question. I mean, I don't want to go off kilter here, Anthony, but I mean, for the panel, I mean, like, how do y'all feel about TCU being picked to be the 4th team in the CFP? I mean, I know we saw what Saban did and that kind of stuff. I mean, the argument can be made. I mean, they only have 1 loss, but I mean, Tennessee's got 2 losses and Alabama's got 2 losses. I mean, how do you guys, Alex and Kate, how do you feel about playing TCU, or would you rather it be like a Tennessee or somebody, other than TCU? Do you have any opinion on that? Nothing?
I'll hop in here. Me personally, I think if you look at the matchup of TCU versus a Tennessee when Hendon Hooker was healthy, or in Alabama, I think those two probably beat TCU just because of what TCU brings defensively. And that's the only reason I think we kind of beat them fairly easily. But for me, I think I was looking at a Michigan-Tennessee matchup personally for weeks when Tennessee was up there. And I was like, hey, if we make the playoffs, it's probably going to be a Tennessee that we have to beat to make it to the national championship.
Yeah.
So that was one I was kind of getting excited about. And then Alabama's one where this is a down year for them, realistically, and they're still the number 5 team in the country. So Bama's one you always want a shot at when you're out of conference team, and Tennessee was one I wanted a shot at this year too.
Yeah, I know there's been several types of conversations on who that 4th spot, with the Bama, Tennessee, and TCU. But I mean, 2 losses are 2 losses. I mean, it's just kind of one of those things. I mean, you can't necessarily give a Bama or a Tennessee, a 2-loss team, regardless of who it was against. You know what I'm saying? And that's just my opinion. But TCU, in my opinion, deservedly got that that 4th spot.
Oh, yes. I totally agree that they deserve that 3rd spot.
Yeah.
Just based on rising in the ranks, only losing won the game. Yeah. They deserve to be where they're at.
And they shouldn't necessarily be penalized for that loss because it was in an extra game where a lot of these other teams don't even get that extra game.
No.
Right. So to me, be the 12-0 and then go lose that game, I don't think you should be penalized for that. I think they absolutely deserve to be there on what they've done this year.
Yeah, I was speaking to somebody about, and the conversation of money came up, like, and the bowls and that kind of stuff. And they presented like, oh, you make more money, the bowl will make more money or whatever. The CFP would make more money if it was a Bama or a Tennessee. I was like, like, I kind of get that, but I mean, TCU is deserved team to be in there. I mean, And I'm sure so even though it's a smaller school, their fans will show up, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it's not like they have to travel ridiculously far to, they're playing in the
Mhm.
Fiesta,
Exactly.
now I know Alex, you made mention of the fact that no team should be penalized for having that extra game. But I mean, in the case of another team who they thought were going to have a lockdown on their position in the CFP.
Did you say Utes?
Yeah, that we see how that one went. We see how that one went. Any thoughts on, speaking of, that's the one team that was in the top 4 prior to this weekend. Any thoughts from anyone about, do you guys just think it's just a matter of Utah just has USC's number and it doesn't matter who's the coach and who's under center?
I think Utah has the perfect recipe to beat this USC style of football. It's a team with a bad offensive line and a defense that's good when they're up 20 points and can pin their ears back and rush the passer. When you have to play the run and the pass, they're not very good. I called USC a fraud for most of the year because of that. To me, Utah plays the perfect style to take them out, and they showed that by beating them twice this year. Now, phenomenal year for Lincoln Riley, first year in USC. Phenomenal year for Caleb Williams. I was calling him the best player in football.
Yes,
They did very well, exceeded expectations, but just not enough to get in this year.
So
I'm kind of excited to welcome USC into the Big Ten after seeing their performance against the Utah Utes. I think Michigan can handle this team. And before I was like, ooh, Lincoln Riley, Caleb Williams, I was looking at their team going, oh, could Michigan beat them? And now after I saw them play Utah, I'm like, this might be not such a bad team to welcome into our conference in a few years. So I think they have a lot of flaws in their team, and I'm sure Lincoln will get those flaws figured out get the right players in and the right recruits in and everything. But man, Utah has their number for sure.
Yeah, I think
Definitely has their number.
I think Utah has a lot of people's number because last year it was Oregon, and Oregon looked like the heir apparent, and they got Oregon. I think they got Oregon twice as well. So
they did.
They have really built something. Oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, y'all didn't know we had the Big Ten commissioner Kate Alverson. She just said, I'm glad to welcome them into the conference. Y'all come on in, put your feet, take your shoes off, get yourself some biscuit and some gravy. We're gonna take good care of you, or whatever it is.
In fact, like on Twitter, I was like calling them like because they're from California, they're used to the hot weather. I'm like, let the princesses in. We'll put the red carpet out for them in UCLA, and we'll play them in November and show them what gridiron, blue collar, Big Ten football is all about, in the cold and the snow and the elements.
I don't think they're going to like that much.
No.
I don't think we'd like that much, Anthony. I mean, I don't know. Don't put us Georgia boys up in there. What's this white stuff?
We were joking about the SEC and you guys coming up to our elements and playing like a November game, and
this may be the Green Bay G, but we ain't going to Lambeau. No.
So, but yeah, I'm excited. We'll see in a few years what it's going to be like.
That we shall. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here's the perfect point. Pernt. What the hell? Did I just turn into Medea? What is it? What is a pernt? What the hell?
Did you say Utes?
Yeah, I said no. I said pernt. Like I pernt it over there. That's what I'm perting at, right?
Per plus.
But anyway, this is a perfect spot for us to take a very, very quick commercial break. We will be right back after this word from our official sponsor. Don't go. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. That is our show sponsor, and also Let's Talk Football family member, Mr. Sid Swinton. I'm gonna start calling him Mr. Suns Out, Guns Out, because he always has his arms out on every single
Yeah.
broadcast. You never don't see the gun show. But definitely, if you like football cards and collecting football cards, this is the guy to get at. He's got pulls several times a week. You can buy full packs. You can do breaks. His tag is right down there in the bottom of the crawl. Squid Rips Cards at Squid Rips Cards. Get at him today. He's live several times a week on TikTok. And if you want a football card, I'm pretty sure he can get it for you. That's the guy to get at.
Yeah.
So we're here, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you that just joined us, if you've been hanging for a while and you forgot what we're doing this week in UGA football with myself and Colin P. and our illustrious guests, Kate Alverson, Alex Loosemore, collectively also parts of the Let's Talk Football family. We'll show you where to find them in just a wee bit. Oh, actually, I don't have the new ad, but we can let y'all tell them. So they're talking about their Fiesta Bowl matchup. We're going to get into that just a little bit deeper. We already talked about their key players. So let's go ahead and break this thing down. Now, we got a segment we like to do on our show called X Wins If. So we're going to talk about Michigan wins if. And Kate, I'm going to come to you first and go.
Michigan wins if we execute our offense flawlessly. JJ's got to hit his deep balls, and the offensive line has got to open up the middle more for our running backs. My tailgate group actually has T-shirts we're going to make that say up the middle because that's where Michigan likes to run it. So we need to run on the outside more, let Donovan do his thing. Hopefully Harbaugh will open up the playbook a little more, have some trick plays up his sleeve in case TCU defense is adjusting to our running game. I think Colston Loveland will play a big part of our offense, but our defense needs to be ready for their offense because their quarterback can be explosive. Their offense can be good. So as long as Jesse Minter has his game plan on and Matt Weiss and Sharon Moore have their game plan on, we're going to be just fine. I have all the confidence in the world in Harbaugh. I always say in Harbaugh, I trust, and I think we will do very well. I absolutely need to score touchdowns. I would like to see Jake Moody only kicking PATs and not out there doing field goals. If we can hit the end zone as much as possible in the first half so we don't have to have that stressful readjustment and be explosive in the second half, that would be nice to go in with quite a cushion against TCU. But I think we can win. I know we can win, and I want us to win because it's time for us to avenge our loss to you guys last year and hopefully get a natty for Mr. Harbaugh.
Well, thank you, Kate. It appears that we lost Alex.
Where did Alex go?
He probably had a little bit of an issue with his internet. Sometimes that happens. He should pop in here shortly. Well, we lost one of our guests, ladies and gentlemen, Alex Loosemore, but he'll be back in just a bit. There he is. Boom.
That Canadian internet, right?
Yeah.
Well, Alex, question, the same question coming to you. We want to move this thing along here and get into the UGA game, the Peach Bowl. So I'm going to give you 60 seconds, and Michigan wins if go.
Michigan wins if they control the line of scrimmage, control the clock, feed Donovan Edwards the ball, keep that high-powered offense of TCU on the sideline, and defensively limit the big plays. Stop Colin Johnston as much as possible, and keep the pocket contained. Don't let Max Duggan run as much as possible, obviously.
Wow. Hey, I gave him 60. He did it in 30. My man, boy.
That was good.
You Usain Bolt to that bad boy. Phew. You got to hit the pose. All right, then. Well, so check this out, ladies and gentlemen. I promise you, we are a UGA show. We just, we're having our guests on from Michigan and have them talk a little bit about their game because chances are pretty good that it's going to be either TCU or Michigan that we'll wind up playing when we got to play Ohio State this coming weekend. So the first thing I want to get into, though, before I get into this game, before we get to talking about this game, ladies and gentlemen, Stetson Bennett the fourth has been listed as a finalist for the 2022 Heisman Trophy. I got to put that out there.
Well,
and I know a lot of people are like, Stetson Bennett, really? But when you think about this kid's story, I mean, by now I'm sure you've heard it 180 times with the winning of the national championship this past January. But coming on, trying out as a walk-on, not making a team, going off the Buck Tussle State to play at JUCO for a while, coming back, making the squad, subbing in for JT Daniels, back and forth subbing. JT gets hurt last year. He takes over. National championship, boom, boom, comes back this year with that extra year of eligibility. Perfect season record. SEC championship under his belt, and now poised to win the CFP game and the national championship. So mad congratulations to Stetson Bennett, and I know you guys see a lot of the disrespect for some of your players on social media and on Twitter and things like that. And let me tell you, they ride Stetson so hard, man. They ride him so hard.
Yeah, that was the thing I was going to say you left out. I mean, you just mentioned it. I mean, not to mention the actual just the dogging he's been getting. I mean, just not good enough. He's been told pretty much since he's been in college football, he's short. He's too short. His arm is weak. All these things he can't do, and he's proving everybody wrong. I mean, and taking all that negative and all that negative energy, just pushing it to the side and knowing or thinking to himself that he is the best and he wanted to prove he's the best. So, I mean, the story is great, but, I mean, you can't look aside from how he's actually performed. I mean, he has actually done his performance has been out. I mean, it's just been crazy and incredible. Even with the miscues he's had, he's come back and done something, positive on the other end of that. He didn't hang his head or anything like that, but just fighting through adversity is just – story in and of itself was great, but, I mean, his performance this year and last year has been awesome. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And I see Ben Cornett has joined the fray. Isn't Stetson a cologne? Hello, Ben. It's good to see you.
Yeah, buddy. I wore that religiously. Yes, sir.
And ladies and gentlemen, joining the comment section, it is the OG, the Godfather, Mr. Sean Spencer. You have a fan, Mr. Loosemore. He says you are a straight professional. Internet drops out. It doesn't panic, doesn't freak out. He pulls the Stetson. He just gets it. He reboots everything. Little gum, little chewing gum, a couple paper clips. Boom, back in the feed, back on the horse.
Right it.
Well, then the 2-minute warning.
Thank y'all so much for joining the show. Each and every one of you that has dropped a comment has been entered into a drawing for one of our snazzy. One of these right here. Oops, there we go. We got to put it right there. Zagnif Apparel. It is embroidered. If you want to buy one, it's the shop is right down there in the lower right-hand corner. Hit the QR code, and I believe they're only $17, and that includes the shipping. So get yourself one. They're nice and warm. I got one because I don't have no hair up here, so I need that. Loving it. I do want to mention that a couple of notable snubs. Of course, your guy Blake Corum and Hendon Hooker both not invited. The other three finalists being C.J. Stroud, Caleb Williams. And, oh, my God, I'm drawing a complete blank. Stetson Bennett, C.J. Stroud, Caleb Williams, and Max Duggan.
Yes.
So those are the four. Yeah, we just talked about it for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So those are your four finalists. Good luck to all four of them. Of course, we're hoping to see Stetson win. That would just absolutely be – dude, could you imagine that, Colin?
Perfect bookend.
Look. Wins it, comes in, takes over the team, wins the national championship, runs the table in the regular season, wins the SEC championship, wins the CFP, wins the Heisman, wins another national championship. You want to talk about a mic drop?
He did that during the game.
Here's the thing: is there's no clear front runner this year because everyone had those downfalls. Everyone had those slip ups. So. There's no clear guy that was up here all year. Like everyone was up and down. So who knows who's actually going to walk away with this?
Yeah, especially at the end of the season. I mean, everybody just kind of was on the way down.
Yeah.
It's crazy to watch.
Yeah. Absolutely. So best of luck to the 4 finalists for the Heisman Trophy: Stetson Bennett, C.J. Stroud, Max Duggan, Caleb Williams. We're gonna do a brief pause for the cause so you guys can get a chance to, and then we're gonna get into our final couple of segments here. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. Don't go far. And ladies and gentlemen, that right there that you just saw is the complete lineup of shows on the Let's Talk Football family of podcasts and shows from Sunday to Sunday. There's a show for you to include this one right here. And I have 2 our esteemed guests are also part of the Let's Talk Football family of shows as well. OG, if you're watching, I do need to get the update because obviously there's some shows missing from this one. But thank you all for tuning in today and watching. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Drop a comment if you would. All helps with the algorithm, and we appreciate you so very much. But we come on today. We got our guests here, Kate and Alex. And today, now we're going to get into the Peach Bowl. The Peach Bowl. The Peach Bowl. Number 1, University of Georgia Bulldogs taking on that, as Kate and Alex like to refer to them, that other team. Or what is it y'all call it? The team down,
That team down south.
That team down south.
Yeah.
That's
So,
in their
there it is.
locker
That's
room. We're the team up north. That they don't call us, and they go through their whole entire town and they cross off all the M's with red X's.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Shouts out to our guy Chris, who joined us also from the SEC Super Conference. Appreciate you tuning in. Again, each and every one of you dropping a comment right now has been entered into a drawing. Tomorrow, the Ducks shall race, and one of you shall get a beanie. Haha! All right, I'm slowly turning into a black version of your co-host here, Alex. Next thing you know, I'm gonna have a long beard, and I'm just gonna be like, "There's no going," shaking it all on the screen. Anyway. Peach Bowl, Colin, I'm coming to you first, brother. What you got, man?
Man, after I was really happy watching that, our performance against LSU. But one thing that stuck out with me, man, like I said before, though, I'm happy that we're playing Ohio State. It's been a while, I think, a good while since we played them. But like I said, it'd be a great testament to play. C.J. Stroud is a great quarterback, great team as a whole. And I said before, I don't know if it's indicative of what Michigan performed against them, but I'm anxious to play them. If we play like we've been playing, just our defense has been lights out, and if Stetson keeps his composure, which I'm sure he will, and he's been spreading the ball around, and plus we've been running the ball effectively. McIntosh and the rest of the guys, Edwards and Kendall Milton actually had a good game against LSU. But one thing that sticks out. I think our secondary might be slipping just a little bit, and I hate to talk about Ringo like that because he's our savior, or actually he played great during the national championship. But I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna have to come to you with that. But something's not there. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but hopefully he will get back to his former self. During the playoffs. But I'm excited. I'm excited to play Ohio State, and hopefully. If we beat them, it'd be great to face Michigan again. So it'll be part 2, and this time it'll be a bigger stage. So,
Yeah, you know what? I was gonna, well, you just led right into the segment that I was going with the strengths and weaknesses. Definitely the defense is a big part of the strength of this team. There has been almost zero fallback from last year's defensive squad, which is absolutely amazing when you think about how many killers we had on the squad. I mean, just
Yeah.
straight killers. But like we said, Jalen Carter on Saturday just said, "No, you know what? Your ankle's hurting, bro. Let me just hold you up for a minute."
Yeah,
And
That was
a huge comeback.
insane.
It was great.
yeah, and that has been the meme of the meme of the last 3 days. You got Nolan Smith when healthy is also a big disruption on the front four. You got Keely Ringo, you got Christopher Smith, you got Malachi Starks
Yeah,
back there in that secondary. I mean, at one point it was just Keely, and at one point it was just Keely, and now you got three. I agree with you with Keely Ringo. I've been saying that for the last couple of weeks. Something's been going on, not on the show. You and I have talked about it. There's
right.
something there, and I don't know what it is. Like you said, only coach knows what it is. But I hope he gets that worked out. The other thing is that against Ohio State, the one thing we cannot afford to give up is a deep ball.
No, you got Marvin Harrison Jr., man. You have got to watch out for him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's almost like a Hyde, you know what I'm saying? Like for Tennessee. So I mean, you've got to have eyes on him at all times. And I hate to put it on with just one receiver, but I mean, you got to keep.
It is.
Yeah. And then,
There was like a 3-4 game stretch where he had 49% of their passing offense went through Marvin Harrison. Like it's all Marvin Harrison.
We gave you a good footprint on how to guard him. So watch our game. Have Kirby watch our game, and you'll see how we started shutting him down in the second half.
Dial him up. Anthony, dial him up and let him know. Like Kate got the boot.
We're gonna send you
listen. I don't have
Mike
the number.
Sanders still was amazing on him in that second half. You got to be a nag in his side, and he won't get the ball. So
Well, the thing with that is Keely has kind of become he picks up the number one receiver, and the biggest problem he's had lately is he's been getting called for a lot of DPI. So I think the referees. I think they're going to have to do a combo of a handoff where he's going to have to be the front, and maybe Malachi is going to have to, if he goes, Malachi picks up the deep routes, because it's just like what's the boy's name? Your boy, oh God, not Albert Hainsworth, Ndamukong Suh. Like it got to the point where people once Ndamukong Suh got known for playing how he played. He very quickly became one of the most penalized players in the league. So that's a big thing. And if there's any time we can't afford to give up crucial penalties on defense, is in this game, this coming December. And
but that being said, Anthony, is I was really impressed how Kirby and the Dogs were using Big O and Brock Bowers. I mean, they weren't only catching the ball; they were blocking. You see the blocking.
Oh, those blocks!
I mean, it was outrageous because they had them both on one side at one point, and they were just driving.
Skip Bayless, let me tell you something. When you saw them two big monsters out there running out front, just blocking, pancaking people, they ran them over like a steamroller on the Flintstones. He was just flat, and he just went down to the field. That's how they ran them over.
I don't think the Ohio State defense will have an answer for Brock Bowers. They won't have an answer at all for him. He's too big.
Yeah.
How do you find an answer for
He drags those piles.
Well, he's not the big one. The big one is Big O. Like Big O make Brock Bowers look like a child.
Well, Bowers is faster than Big O, but Big O is big boys. I mean, like you throw it up, he's gonna throw it up.
Yeah.
Their defense won't have an answer for your tight ends. I'm just telling you right now.
Yeah. I was just saying, like, I mean, it's awesome to have two tight ends that can catch the ball and you throw it up, they can grab it, but also as well as they block. I mean, you never see that hardly.
Yeah.
You rarely see it. I should say never, but I mean they go out and play ball. They go both sides. They block and they catch passes.
Yeah, because that's in the last several years, I say about 10 years, the pass even we go further back than that because we're talking Tony Gonzalez and Old man Witten, Shane Witten. They turned, tight ends became more pass catchers. Oh God, Shannon Sharp. We go even further back than that.
Yeah.
These guys were, I can't believe now, Mr. Fingers. I cannot believe I'm gonna push you back in the back. I'm getting a hot L for you. I cannot believe that we went to school together and you forgot that I was a tight end. You know what? I'm revoking your pass to Club Shay Shay just for this evening. I'll let you get it back tomorrow. Okay, so you don't have to
You're
be
off the list.
You off the list for the night. You can come back tomorrow. Anyway, the tight ends became pass catchers, but back in the day, they were blockers first and pass catchers second. And then in the last 15, 20 years, they became pass catchers first and blockers second.
I was going to say that kind of tapered off. They didn't want to block. A lot of tight ends didn't want to do that. They were out there to catch the ball. They didn't want to block. But these two guys, you can tell. I mean, they're out there just moving.
They enjoy doing it. Yeah,
they move people.
Yeah.
You see Big O standing over them like, what? You can tell they have fun doing it. So I mean, that's refreshing to see. But
Well, Mr. Spencer, we're not gonna get ahead of ourselves. While we would like to make the assumption that's going to be the case, we want to get through this OSU game first. But I mean, realistically speaking, I don't know. What do you know? What? Let's go ahead and touch that real briefly, because we're up against it. But let's touch on that real briefly. Kate, what do you think the keys to victory for? No, wait a minute, hold on. Colin, keys to victory versus Michigan, and go.
Oh, and go. Well, I mean, like I said, I'm gonna sound like a broken record again. It's just all about the defense breaking through their offensive line and making their quarterback make bad decisions and then get him on the run and just get through the deep. Well, that's the defense, and have our secondary cover as they should, pick up all the receivers. And turnovers is going to be a big thing, cut down on turnovers and not have any if you can, and try to make them turn over the ball as much as they can. I just think it's just just putting pressure on the quarterback, and as long as we can score when we get the ball. And I agree with what Kate said about against TCU. When you have the ball, score touchdowns, not field goals. So it's just that would be, in my opinion, and Stetson throwing the ball away when it's not there, not trying to force anything through a little tiny window, which may or may not can make it, but now's not the time to make those kind of decisions.
100%. And Mr. Spencer, I'm going to answer your second question. What will the Georgia versus Michigan matchup look like? It will look like a stadium full of half people dressed in red and half people dressed in blue and gold. There's your answer. I'm gonna tell you what, it's gonna be a heck of an offensive and defensive battle. I mean, these are probably realistically, I think team for team, body for body would probably be the most evenly matched game that I can think of, because Michigan is given no quarter on defense, neither is Georgia. Michigan's offense is ridiculous. It's like they toyed with Purdue for a little while. You ever watch a cat play with something that's getting ready to kill? They just kind of batted it around for a while and let it get away, and then they were like, okay, we're done. And then they just reached down and hit second gear, and then in the fourth quarter, they hit the nines and just pulled away.
I was going to say, I wouldn't be surprised if Harbaugh, if we do end up playing each other, if Harbaugh comes out swinging. Like, I mean, he comes out maybe throwing a couple deep balls, catches.
100%.
And scoring really fast, maybe a no huddle, just trying to get us on our heels, and just getting ahead of us quickly is probably on his mind.
Yes. Now, and this, I will say this will probably be, assuming right now for sake of discussion, we're all optimistic here. Assuming for sake of discussion, we do meet up in the national championship. I will say that this will probably be the first game all season that Georgia has had to really, the whole game, go through. I'm gonna go ahead and call it. I think Kirby has been very conservative with what he does on the field, because injuries can tear up a team, and all it takes is a couple of injuries to a couple of key players, and you can find yourself in a bad way. So he's done just enough to win, and when it comes time to win convincingly, he has. I mean, even this past week, I'm like, they kept saying, well, we think after this series, we'll see Carson back, and then they'd go 3 and out, and Stetson will go back out there. So
I got nervous with Stetson running so much. I'm like, man, you don't need to be ball. I mean, we have the game fully in hand. slow your roll, man. Just, I mean, you don't need to be, we know you're good. Everybody knows you're good. We know you have wheels. You don't need to hurt yourself. But
Yeah, and I'll add another key. Utilize every single weapon you have for Georgia. Georgia has, I mean, you got Brock Bowers and Big O. You got Brock Bowers and Big O. A.D. Mitchell is back. He's been out.
Mhm.
A.D. Mitchell is back. You got Milton.
Blaylock's back.
Blaylock's back. You got Milton. You got Branson. You got Edwards. You got McConkey. I mean, on offense, that there's so many weapons on that team. There's no need to try and force it to just any one player, and that's one of the things I like is the depth that, for UGA as far as in terms of that. Now, getting back to this OSU game, it's just definitely is to tamp down anything that they got coming because we know CJ Stroud has an arm and it's a rocket of an arm, and and since he doesn't have Smith and Jigma, that's his name, correct?
Yeah,
that's how you pronounce his name.
Yep.
I'm asking. I'm the black guy is asking the Canadian guy how to pronounce the African name. well, let's be real about it. Person to person is probably more Africans in Canada than there are in the United States.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, there's a little bit of everything up here. So
yeah, I mean, do you think about
like Northern Virginia melting pot? People may work.
Well, no, all the Africans. I'm gonna tell you where all the Africans are in Northern Virginia. They're down in the Tyson's Corner area, not Tyson's Corner. Seven Corners.
So yeah, I can see
Seven Corners, but that's a different discussion for a different day. So we've gone through all of that. What are your final thoughts? We'll get your final thoughts. Oh, you got something for me, Colin? Go ahead.
Yeah, I got one quick question for both Alex and Kate. So, I mean, what do you think? What do you think, if anything, is going to be different? Should we face you guys? What do you think will be different this time around with you guys? Will you guys be doing anything differently, or will Harbaugh have any kind of, I know I said that it would come out quick, right? But is there anything differently, play calling scheme wise, whatever you guys foresee that will play, how you guys will play us differently than last year?
We have a different weapon. We don't have Cade McNamara at quarterback. You're going to face a pretty young, explosive JJ McCarthy. The kid is fearless. He's not afraid to run. He's not afraid. He can move in the pocket more. He can run out to pass the ball. If you watch the Purdue game, he's just different. He's built different. His mindset is different. And he leads our team a lot differently than Cade did. So I think what you're going to have to get used to is JJ's he's a little spitfire. So he's not afraid. Like Cade is more afraid. Cade got sacked more. JJ hasn't been sacked as much. His turnover ratio isn't what Cade's was. So you're going to face a different kind of quarterback for us. For 19 years old, the kid plays with a maturity of a player in that is like more of a junior or a senior.
Yeah, I saw you posted that you'd like to see your 19-year-old go against our 25-year-old.
Yeah.
What did you say?
25-year-old, the guy that should be in the NFL by now.
No,
anyway, but I love JJ. I love his demeanor. I love his mindset. I love his fearlessness. He's able to move in the pocket. So that's going to be a big difference from what you saw last year.
Yeah, so basically saying experience is going to be a different factor, mainly that growth and that kind of stuff. What we saw that.
Yeah, and the fact that Minter took what McDonald started, fine-tuned it, and the fact that we lost players like David Ajabu, Aiden Hutchinson, we lost Dax Hill, we lost 3 major defensive players, and look at where we're at and our record and how explosive we've been. So on shutting down teams' offenses, like who would have thought we'd go down to the shoe in Columbus and do what we did? So this team is wired different. Like Alex has said, we have a different mindset this year. And I have a lot of confidence in our players. I mean, for the lack of height our defensive ends have, they've done an amazing job on a lot of teams' receivers.
Yeah.
And in our defensive backs, and like hopefully Mikey Morris will get healed and will be able to play. But he's been a great substitution to Aiden this season. So, and we have explosiveness on offense, like Donovan Edwards playing with one hand. He had thumb surgery like 3-4 weeks ago, and he's been doing what he's been doing with one hand and replacing Blake Corum. We have explosive tight ends with Colston Loveland and Schoonmaker. So I just feel like we have really good pieces of the puzzle, and that offensive line of ours has been holding up some really mighty big dudes this year and letting our run game be what it is and our passing game. So, yeah, I have a lot of faith in our team that we can complete the revenge tour we want to complete and hopefully come back home with the natty, because Team 143 is very special to me. I've watched Michigan football for over 30 years, but this team's special. There's a different feel about this team. So they're gritty, they're determined, and they want to win. They want to beat Georgia. They want to say they can win a natty.
Yeah, that makes a difference. I mean, that's kind of like what me and Anthony have been going through. I mean,
yeah,
we and they want to win. It just hasn't always happened that way. But I mean, the constant improvement. Yeah, that goes a long way. That kind of stuff.
I'm going to be completely honest. I'm going to be complete. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Kate. I'm going to be completely honest. The way that all of these teams have been showing massive improvement, it's going to get really interesting between these conferences really, really soon.
Mm-hmm. The 12-team playoff is going to be.
God, it's going to be crucial.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to cut it. I'm not trying to cut anybody off. I got one more question from the comment section I want to touch on, and then we're going to move on to our final segment and shut this down. This one from the comments from my buddy Chris in the SEC Super Conference group. How you guys feeling about Cade leaving to go to Iowa?
Go ahead, Alex.
For me, I'm one of these guys that as long as they leave on good terms like Cade has, I'm happy. I want to see them thrive. Iowa to me wasn't the place I would have picked for him. I would have gone somewhere like Oregon was up there on the list for me on places I would have gone if I was Cade, somewhere where they use the quarterback a little more. But I hope he does well there, just not against us.
All right. And same question to you, Kate. Got about 30 seconds and go.
I wish Cade McNamara all the best. He did win us a Big Ten championship last year. He did go to we did beat Ohio State last year with Cade. So I have no ill will, and I wish him nothing but the best, but just not against us.
Well,
I don't get the transfer into the rival. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it may be a good fit for the player or whoever's transferring, but I don't know if I could myself. I don't think like Blake Burton winning a national championship, book out to Alabama. Maybe you'll see the ball. Maybe you didn't. That didn't work out well for him. But I don't.
Go ahead.
No, I'm good. I mean, I don't get going to a rival. I mean, I would have a tough time. I mean, if you were at a team and you actually excelled and actually made a difference in that team, and you made and won a conference championship, even that kind of stuff, and why would you want to go to a rival? I mean, I would go to another school, but why would you want to go to a rival? Look, in my opinion.
And this is
I know he's going to our West Division. We're in the East. So he's going to our division rival. So he's looking to set himself up to play us in the Big Ten championship is basically what I think he's looking at, and to avenge himself in a way, even though he's left very classy. I think he wants to say, I can bring a team to beat Michigan in the Big Ten championship.
Well, maybe that was what Anthony, what were you going to say? I mean,
I was just going to say that I think that it's more of you're looking for a place where you can go in and you can at this stage in his college career, a place where he can go in and he can start. I think that's a small part of it, but at this stage in the game, the way the transfer portal has started working, it's where can I go and start immediately. What's the kid's name that left? And it was our guy that left and went to Temple because that was the only place he could go and start as a quarterback. I don't even think what's his name? Dewan Mathis.
Yeah, but remember I told you he switched to being a receiver. Like he couldn't even make it as a quarterback. He's a receiver.
And Kate's got 3 more years of eligibility, so he's got 3 more years he can play for Iowa.
Okay.
Well, it's kind of like the Brett Favre thing going to Minnesota. I'm just like, I mean,
I agree.
Yeah,
in my opinion. But I mean, what do I know?
you know a lot.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Having said that, we're going to move on to our final segment of the game. You know it, you love it. Here it is. We've played 58 minutes worth of football, and it has all come down to the 2-minute warning. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, the 2-minute warning. This is a segment that, much like all of our other Let's Talk Football shows, where we just give our final thoughts on anything. It can be funny, it could be emotional, it could be heart-tugging. So to our esteemed guests, we will start with you first, and ladies first, as always. So, Kate, you have the floor.
In light of what happened with our team today, we lost another player to the portal. Just show grace and mercy to people. You don't know the whole story. You don't need to know the whole story. Just trust the process, trust what the player's doing, but show grace and mercy to people because you don't know where they're at in their life and why they're at in their place in life and why he's choosing to leave Eric Hall. But just don't beat up on these players on social media and don't slide into their DMs and assume that you think you know the whole story when you may not know, but show grace and mercy to people. These are young men. They're just trying to do what's best for them. So grace and mercy go a long way. And I think that's a lost art in our society is showing grace and mercy, because we don't always know the whole facts and the whole truth and what's really going on. So be kind and show grace and mercy.
Agreed. All right, Mr. Loosemore, you have the floor, sir.
All right, so I'll kind of look at the same thing from a different angle. If you're one of these guys in the locker room and, for example, a teammate transfers, just look out for your brothers. Just make sure everyone's doing good. Just keep in touch with people, especially over the holidays. Some people don't deal with this time of year very well, so just look out for each other.
Okay. All right, Colin, it's on you, brother.
My man. So, yeah, I mean, kind of just a little bit piggybacking on what Kay said. Yeah, I mean, social media, unfortunately, grace and mercy, that kind of stuff. It is, I mean, like, a lot of like common sense people. I mean, even they may have it or may not. I mean, it's not very vivid these days. And social media is, unfortunately, it can be used for good things and bad things. You go behind the keyboard, you can talk whatever you want to without repercussions, without having to see this person that you don't know about. I mean, like they have a story. Some people honestly don't care, which is unfortunate as well. I mean, like talking to somebody goes a long way as well. But anyway, I was just saying, you guys know that that I went down to Georgia this past weekend and hung out with my family. I haven't seen it in a long time. And that was the other thing I was going to say. If you have a chance to go down to places, I mean, I haven't been down to Georgia probably like 2, maybe 3 years, but I saw a lot of the family I haven't seen in a while. It was just amazing. I brought my son down there, and it's just a different world down there in the South. And as far as like in the country, that type of stuff. We're in the city. My son doesn't get to see that type of thing or that types of just freedom. Running around the yard and in the woods and that kind of stuff. So I'm just saying, if you ever get a chance to hang out with family, do it while you can. I mean, I tend to say this a lot, but tomorrow's not promised. And if you care for someone, love someone, make sure they know it. And enjoy the time while you got it. I mean, I had a ball. I had some good food. Probably gained about 5 or 6 pounds. But it was good. Anthony can attest.
He sent me pictures, made me mad. I'm like, bruh. And in typical Southern fashion, I don't know if either of you have been like South, like the Southeast, like I said South, SOUPH, but Southeast,
That's what they say.
like Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, that region.
Yeah.
If you've ever been to a buffet, and I'm not talking about Golden Corral, I'm talking
Mhm.
about a local buffet. It's always going to be set up like this. All the good, fatty, fill you up, make you fall asleep stuff is on the front end. And then on the very back end, back in the cut, is the salad. Like where you always see it.
Dude, they had a table. They had a table on the end of the salad, so you knew that wasn't the first. That wasn't where you go to get your plate. Your plate was over here.
Right,
with
like
the
it was,
fried
it wasn't
chicken
even.
and
Yeah, it wasn't even it wasn't even part of the buffet. It was like on like a card table, like where they sit the kids
Yeah.
at Thanksgiving. It's like this
I don't
card
even think
table
there were
back in the
plates over there.
corner,
To be honest with you.
in the corner by the bat in the entrance to the bathroom.
Yeah.
All I know is I've only had a Michigan version of Southern food. I don't know if I've actually had really authentic Southern food.
You need to
But
go.
that's what I need to. I want to try that
We can hook you
sometime.
up, Kate. We can hook you up.
I will tell you this: if you go to Savannah, and despite her proclivities and her little problems with the things that she said, go to Savannah and go eat at Lady and Sons. That food is woof. Like I grew up I was eating Paula Dean's food before everybody else knew who Paula Dean was, and I'm gonna tell you, woo.
I mean,
Like-
anytime your son has to make you stop adding 4 sticks of butter to everything, that's
Yeah.
what you know.
That you gotta
know
eat there.
you
You
got
gotta
a
eat there, and you gotta eat at a place called Carrie Hilliard's. Just like 5 of them all around town.
Like I want to eat like a green. I've never had like Southern green.
Wait. Hold on. There's never ever singular. It is greens, not green.
Greens.
She
Never
said,
had them.
Kate just said,
And
I
it's
want
not
to.
spinach.
Kate just said, I want to eat a green.
I want to eat them someday. I want to try
Green
them.
Yeah, because and there's a whole bunch of different types. There's mustard greens, turnip greens, collard green, but the pièce de résistance is the collard greens.
One of these days.
Well, you can get that at Lady and Sons. I can tell you that for sure.
Yeah.
So
Collards are good, but mustard's my favorite. Sorry.
Oh yeah, you a mustard green guy?
I'm a mustard guy. Yes, sir.
Okay. Maybe that's a thing from roundabout.
But Kate, me and Anthony will get together next time. Maybe we'll all get together. We'll cook you some good Southern stuff.
Somebody
Okay.
here says I have to send you some pinto beans with a ham bone and some cornbread.
Ham hock.
Ham hock, yeah, for sure. Well, Chris, I'm gonna tell you what. There are many things that I cook, but alas, and I might have to give up my Southern boy card by saying this. The only Southern thing I know how to cook is fried chicken. The rest of it, my mom's always made. I always had somebody that made it for me, so I haven't gotten that far yet. But I got plenty of family that can hook that up. And if you're feeling really brave, Kate, we'll get you some chitlins. But that's a little different.
No. Just say no, Kate. No.
But anyway,
maybe not chilling.
Anyway, to close this segment out before it goes south, and we don't want to violate the scope. We want to keep it clean. My 2-minute warning is: listen, the holidays are upon us. That we just got through Thanksgiving. Christmas is on the horizon. New Year's is on the horizon. Let's try and remember that it's not always merry for everyone else. And there are people that you see every day, and they got the biggest smile on their face, and they laugh and they joke with you and they party with you, and you never ever know what they may be going through. I've taught at some length over the last couple of years about some folks that I knew that were just some of the most jovial people you ever could meet that are no longer with us anymore, unfortunately at their own hand. So just take a couple of minutes and just pick up and check on your folks that you might not talk to every so often, because you never know what they may be going through. Sometimes you might reach out to I can't tell you how many times I've just reached out to somebody and said, hey, you ran across my mind, was thinking about you, just wanted to see how you're doing. And they're like, man, you have no idea what that meant that you reached out to me today. I was having I was going through something and I didn't know who I was going to reach out to, and I appreciate you reaching out to me and just taking that time. So that's what I got. Make sure that you look out for don't just look out for folks that you hang out with all the time. Even the folks that you might not be cool. They might not be part of your inner circle, but you're still cool with them. Just reach out, check on them every so often. And that's what I have for my 2-minute warning. And ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of yet another episode of This Week in S. Oops, hold on. So what remix? This Week in UGA football. That was hashtag Beastie Boys remix right there. Right there. The human beatbox, Mr. Fingers. Ha ha ha. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank all of you that stayed with us and tuned in. We kept close to 10 viewers the entire time the show was on. And that's impressive given the fact that Monday Night Football is on. So thank you guys for hanging out with us. And first of all, we want to thank our guests, Kate and Alex. Love y'all to death. Appreciate you being part of the show. Always welcome to come back.
Thank you,
Always
guys.
a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Always welcome to come back anytime. Colin, my brother, me and you, we go all the way back like 4 flats on a 1965 deuce and a quarter with the 8-track tape player. So, you my man 50 grand, pots and pans, helping his brother man to do all he can all the way around the land, even when it's hot. If he ain't got no ceiling fans, that's my dude, and his name ain't Stan. There you go. Mr. Fingers, hashtag bars. I'm on the road today, y'all. I got some sleep last night. Watch out. Well, y'all pray for y'all pray for my wife when I get off. She's gonna be, why don't you go somewhere and leave me alone? Stop me. Now she's just gonna shake her head. She's just gonna shake her head and go, only my husband. But I do appreciate you guys being on. We appreciate all of you for tuning in and lighten up the comment section. We appreciate it greatly. We will be back next Monday with another episode of This Week in UGA Football. So on behalf of myself and my co-host, Colin, I don't know why. I'm too excited. My mouth. This
sounds like you had like about an 18-hour energy or something. I don't know, not a 5-hour energy.
Yeah.
Coffee.
I drink it for the taste.
Wait. And Coca-Cola. Woo. Boy, I'm just gonna be laying. I'm gonna be laying in bed tonight like I can hear light.
That's like,
anyway,
all right,
we gonna try.
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. We gonna try this again.
It's like drinking Red Bull and whatever, and you're sitting there and like I am so tired, but I want to run around the house.
Right. Right. You come in the room. I'm climbing the walls like Linda Blair in The Exorcist. Okay, we gonna try this again. Quiet on the set. Mr. Fingers closing This Week in UGA Football. Take 2. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for tuning in to episode 39 of the second season of This Week in UGA Football. So on behalf of myself, Mr. Fingers from Zagnif Central, all the way in Oklahoma City, my co-host Colin P from the DMV, and our illustrious guests, Kate and Alex. Oh, man, my hand don't reach through like it do on the other show. Kate and Alex, we appreciate you. I was going to try and give you all high fives, but it didn't work out that way. We appreciate you guys. We will see you next Monday. And until then, Kate, Alex, could you guys give us a Go Big Blue, please?
Go blue.
Oh, that's what it is. Go Blue. I'm sorry. I got that.
Yeah. Or we say it's great to be a Michigan Wolverine.
Yep.
That's too many syllables for us, Anthony.
Hey, look,
we're smarter.
Wait, it could be worse. You could be a fan of that team in Tuscaloosa and don't know how to spell elephant. That's why you cheer for laundry detergent. Did I say that out loud? Keeping this show. All right, we're getting out of here. Colin,
wow.
Let's do that thing, man. Hey, we're out. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. See you guys later.